cello file and Singers 2. It's the only place where any errors are, and they both appear to relate to an unterminated hairpin. And there's also one error at the top of the choirs file.
Yes, you're live now, by the way.
Oh, lovely. No pressure.
Yes, no pressure at all. I'll just say.
Yeah, so the 3 files in question are the choir, Singers 2, and cello.
Yes, so I told Miguel already that I have a problem on Mark 143 because for some reason celli are not registering the crescendo, and I don't understand why.
Mark 143.
Yes.
I have a suspicion your problem with the celli may be related to this unterminated spanner issue, hairpin issue. So what I would like to know is where it claims this hairpin exists.
But the hairpin is there.
Well, there's a hairpin in code here, which is the one it claims is unterminated. So I'm just trying to identify where musically that is.
It's because of the part combined, I'm sure of it. Because of unison and the part combined.
It might be, yes. So we go into D minor where? And this is where it would be good to try and remember my circle of fifths. What is D minor? D minor is a flat key signature, I think. No, it isn't. Because F. No, B flat is 2. No, it's major. I'm psyching myself out. It's not 2 flats. Okay.
Yes.
Right, so that is my major. Okay, an easy way to check is if that is the... where's my cursor gone? Or alternatively, I can just pick a known point in the score and just click on it. Oh, yes, this gives me line numbers, that's right. Okay, well, this is line 78, so what line is this note? They're both line... Yeah, which is disconcerting. And this is a mezzo forte anyway, so it's clearly not this note. That's quite a lot forward. Line use, that's line 25 and 30. So maybe it's considerably later. Anyhow, let's see. The lower voice is line, that's 168, so that's too far. Okay, so that's about, so 144, I think, is about line 40 in code, and the error's at 78, so it's still probably a bit further forward than that, which explains a bit. 183. Okay, so that's 47. And this is mezzo piano.
I think it has to be connected to the part combined. So I suppose...
It's probably related to it, but I still have to identify musically where it is.
I think the easy solution is to use the invisible notes. Remember? It happens sometimes. You write a
we may not have to is all. Okay, if I'm going to assume that we're writing 1 bar per line, because at this point it goes into tutti, so I can't actually use just the line checks. In that case, that's line 50, so we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It should, in theory, be roughly where I'm staring at.
In theory.
at this point. In theory, and I think it is, it's just in the other voice. Which is a pain. I mean, the easy test would be just to intentionally change the note and then make it engrave in two voices and then see the change. That would work. In fact, I'm going to do that. And I'll just change it back.
Well, it's more like the invisible note is easier to...
I've still got to look at placement to do that, though, and it is better, particularly from a parts engraving perspective, if we don't resort to trickery like that as much as possible.
But it doesn't change anything. Haven't you seen the? Do you know what I'm talking about specifically? If you write, If you write after line 175 in the cello, for example, in cello, in cello. If you write, no, after line. Hang on, what am I looking at? If after line 38 of a cello. Yes.
Yes, which is the line I'm experimenting with.
If you write S, how is it? S.
You write a silent note and you terminate the crescendo on it.
Yes, you make it fortissimo. Does it work? It should.
It should. I would prefer to know why the error gets thrown at all, because that's more indicative of a mistake that possibly needs correction.
Well, Miguel usually knows that and he fixes it in one moment, because we've had everything fixed that way, and it doesn't change anything, not even the parts. Let me just see if...
And I have found the section in question. There is line 78. And there is the note I changed. There we are.
Oh, it was before that. 38 is the same thing. 31, actually.
So line 38 in the cello is one voice at mark 148. By the looks. And I can test that if I engrave back.
Line 38. Wait. It's line 31 and line 78.
78 rather.
Okay. 78 is this.
Yeah, line 78 is mark 148 precisely.
I mean, it's one voice. The voices are separate, yes, but that's not the point.
Yeah, so 78 is a line that contains a mezzo forte. And I'm going to check if the other voice...
It does.
The other voice is marked identically.
All you have to do is click the... All you do is click the notes on the... Are you using Frescobaldi?
What needs to happen is... Yes, I'm using Frescobaldi. Yeah. So what needs to happen is... The crescendo needs to terminate. So the question is the fortissimo that terminates those crescendi in every voice? And actually, so this appears to, so there's the triple stop.
Yes.
Is that a triple?
Yes, it's a triple stop. Yes.
So I'm seeing it in one. I'm seeing it in one voice. It is in the other. Okay, so theoretically, there's not a coded problem here. Well,
the thing is, these intermittent crescendi were problems that were already happening before. My biggest problem was what happens after. Spanner hairpin is not fully contained in parent spanner. Because that's what I don't understand.
I suspect that is going to be a symptom. Actually, no. Those are in earlier line numbers, aren't they?
What?
Let's go through the file.
It's the same. When you click spanner hairpin is not fully contained in parent spanner, the first error that says that is on line 31. Just like the... Well, actually, no, that's the only time. But it's the same situation. There's a mezzoforte crescendo that then, because a part combined, does not recognize its end.
What if I explicitly terminate the crescendo on the note just before and see if it makes a difference?
Yeah, of course, it'll work. You have to do this to both voices. Be careful.
Yes. That's easy enough. Well, I'll do it to 1, which will force an engraved difference anyway that I'll see.
Yes.
So I just need to see where do the flared hairpins? Where are they at?
Why flared?
Because it's the line immediately preceding where the crescendo starts, so it's an easy reference point for me to work out where line 36 is.
Yeah, but because this crescendo is also supposed to be flared.
What line are you? Okay, that's line 49, so it's back behind this slightly. Okay, so there's the triple stops. So presumably it's the section immediately preceding this. So there should be... Yes, so the other 7 minutes are 40, so I presume it's here. This looks right. Okay. So if I, just for now, terminate the crescendo on the last note before 144, let's see what happens. What are you munching?
I turned off my mic for the stream so people can hear me munching. Chocolate.
I see. Okay, let's see if this cures this error. Well, it has eliminated about 40 references to line 34. In fact, I don't think it's turned up at all. Yeah, so there's other errors still, which I presume are along the same lines, but line 34 is now a non-issue. So the only issue with this now is the crescendo does terminate in line with the last note, which is probably all right.
No, hang on.
I think.
What do you mean? What does line 34 have to do with this?
Line 34 was the first of these spanner hairpin is not fully contained in parent spanner problems.
No, it was 31. How do you have the different files or?
No, it may indeed be 31. I may be misquoting the line number.
Okay, my thing is, does an invisible note work or not? Can you try that?
It's not necessary.
What do you mean?
I don't think it's proved necessary. And it is line 31 that, yes, I am changing.
What do you mean it's not necessary?
What I've done experimentally is I've added the exclamation mark predicate that terminates the crescendo on the last quaver before 144.
Yeah, but that will not align with the other ones.
It won't, but it would if you did it to all of them.
But I'm not going to. The question is precisely to see if an invisible note works or not. What's wrong with that?
Okay, yeah, we can try that. So, you want the invisible note to be a part of the bar.
No, the invisible note has to be after the bar line. It has to be, you add an extra line under, for example, line 38. Line 38, you break, you make a new line, and new line 39 is S.
I feel like I should do it after the key change, but yep.
Sure, do it after the key change, but before part combining in unison.
Okay, and then it's just like an S4
dot, no, S4 dot, S4 point, and you give it the circumflex accent / non-div / FF, and remove the one after and see what happens. It should work. If it works, I need to compile everything and send it back. And push so I can pull.
I could do it. For what reason am I making it a 4 dot?
So it aligns with... because usually it helps with the alignment. It's not necessary. It could be anything.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like S1 times 0. Because it should have no...
Times 0? Yes, it is times 0. Yes, that's it. Yes, I usually make it
S4. It's of no consequence what you choose.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I think it changes the alignment, but whatever. Just go for it, see what happens.
Alright. So, and I need to give that... I'm still going to give the fortissimo to the written note because I can give this the crescendo termination.
No. Oh, you think it'll do the same
Nope.
thing? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
So it means the fortissimo doesn't have to be responsible for terminating the crescendo, so I can actually terminate the crescendo before the part combined crossover, which I think will help.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there's no problem with ending it before. We've done that before. There's tons of times that happens. But I have dynamics on invisible notes to finish crescendo that come from before. Usually it's to avoid when there's a division. When both instruments are on the same kind of, it's not a file. I don't know what you call them. When you say cello A file 16 equals, then you open the brackets, and then cello B file 16, etc. And then sometimes you have parts 1 and then parts 2.
An actual music block.
Yeah. So usually it's done to prevent changing the music blocks, basically.
Okay. All right. I'm running this on both voices now, and I'm going to see how it turns out.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's about 3 or 4 cases where whatever solution we come up with, it's going to have to be applied. And the result.
Show me a screenshot.
Is identical to having done nothing because it now engraves no hairpin. So I think it's the placement of that silent note needs to change.
That's... Wait, where did you put it?
So in line 31 and correspondingly line 178.
31?
Which are...
No. Where did you put the invisible note?
I put the invisible note at the top of 144, so immediately after the bar check.
No, no, I don't think I understood. I mean, in the code, is it after key do minor or is it before?
I may not have actually done that consistently, come to think of it. But I did. I put it just before the key change.
Before?
Yes. So maybe let's try after.
Yes. But before part combine unison?
But before the part combine, yes.
Yes, okay. Which means you're going to put it in a new line 40, correct?
Indeed.
Okay. So I have an idea what you're doing.
And correspondingly, a new line 179 for the other voice.
Yeah.
Should be, yep. Alright, engrave.
179. Oh, yeah, hang on. I'm looking at the wrong part of the music. It's page 3. Yes. So here. Yes. Exactly. No. It's 179. That's wrong. It's before. It would be before 176. You have line 176 says set print part combined texts equals true, right?
Yes, which is now line 177.
So you put the note before that, but before the key change as well. The key changes and the part combines are aligned. Maybe that's a problem.
It could be. The set print part combined text I don't think is an issue too much.
Okay.
Because it's just a variable. Actually, that's interesting. This voice has no part combined predicates. Period.
Meaning?
So the actual command, where are we? And it may just be the way it works. The actual command part combined unisono does not exist in the second voice.
I know. That's apparently how it works.
Okay, that's how it works. That's how it works.
Well, that's how I've seen it in the code. If there's a mistake, I don't know, because Miguel is the one who deals with the sorcery that is part combined.
It also reckons this is still it's unterminated because idiot me actually took the note out and didn't put it back in. That would be why. Okay, engrave again. Yep, and that got rid of the error. Oh, no. That did not get rid of the error. Why did it not get rid of the error?
Do you put it on both?
Yes, it is in both now, which is the puzzling thing.
What happened? Is it the same thing? There's no hairpin, there's nothing?
There's no hairpin and it just throws the same error, so obviously that's not sufficient for terminating the crescendo, by the looks. So let's see. Things I know that do work.
Hang on. You said you finished... I know that Lipon sometimes does not display things if you only give it to one voice, so you put on both voices.
Definitely.
Okay. When you put the exclamation mark at the last note, what happened?
Yes. It worked fine. It terminated at the last note.
Okay, well that's not an option. So yeah, this is why I'm stuck, and I think we need to wait for our Lord and Savior.
Well, I may have one other option.
Which is?
Which would be to multiply the duration of the double stop, the first one, so that it still engraves as a dotted crotchet, but actually takes a crotchet logically, and add a silent quaver rest ahead of it that actually takes up a quaver rest's time, and put it there. The issue with that is it may hurt alignment.
Yeah, of course it will.
Which is the concern.
Alignment. But that's not. But the question is this error happening because it doesn't like to it doesn't like to
I think there's an ontological problem with the way it's combining and, well, specifically the way it's combining the hairpin contexts. I think it's unhappy with that. It seems happy if the hairpins are fully self-contained and don't cross a part combine change boundary. There's probably a way of circumventing that, but it doesn't appear to be obvious.
In that case, I think we have to... This needs to be left for when it's possible, because otherwise...
In that case, I'll regress the file.
Okay.
Alright, file is regressed, re-engraving back as it was.
Well, in that case, what can we discuss?
Well,
what?
I do advance this argument.
What?
What is unacceptable about terminating the crescendo in alignment with the final note of the bar before 144? Given that it's a difference of under one quaver.
Because the alignment will be different, and the alignment of the entire score has been done this way so far. It's a bit of a silly thing to just have to redo how all crescendos work. If this is the exception, like that means we would have to correct the display of every single crescendo in the score manually.
I'm not sure that we would.
Of course we would.
I'm not sure that we would because we could make... I don't see that making an exception of this particular case is hugely problematic, because the acoustic difference is at best over the course of less than a quaver.
No, you don't understand. I'm talking about visuals. I'm talking about what it looks like in this score. You're saying you can tolerate that small difference, right?
I think making a difference of it here,
yes,
once, if there's no alternative,
yeah, if there's
not an egregious situation.
Of course, if there's no alternative.
You want to be sure there's not an alternative.
Of course, exactly.
Okay.
I would like to be sure, of course, that's the idea. And Miguel is the one who used to do this. I just thought that I was making probably something that was pretty simple to notice.
No, I think there's an ontological complexity. I don't see a way around this other than doing that. Chizuch may think differently.
Okay. Right. So you regressed the file, right? So there's nothing for you to upload to push.
Indeed not.
Okay. Well, in that case, we should discuss other things like libretto. Like, can you hear me well? Because it says my connection is kind of crappy.
Yes.
Okay. We should discuss other stuff like libretto. Librettos, I think, may not be for the ears of our audience. Depending on what we discuss. Let me go check. Let me go check what we have to discuss. We have the phrases, the 4 questions. We have... Oh! Let's address Muto and the mayor's argument. Do you remember? You go check the issue. It's there.
Is it? Oh, it's an issue. It's not. It's not pinned in the Discord.
I think it is also pinned in Discord. But the issue actually, I think, gives it a clue. It's issue 66.
Okay.
So, as the mayor's incompetence settling the argument continues, Muto's complaints on Vicen's inefficiency because your noses are turned up to the skies lead to criticism of the town guard letting people like Psychon rob the mayor's son. They don't know that detail, but allude to crime in general. The mayor's son, no good running off before the ceremony. I wish I could get mad, but my own sons ran off in a hurry before the carnival. This is Muto's sentence in the game.
Yep.
Where was I? Where was I going with this? So we have...
Well, easy point first.
Yes.
You can basically say what you like after the Fugato. You can put anything in there.
Yes,
it
but...
won't necessarily be heard, but you can utter it.
The idea is that it should be heard. So there's so much repetition in the Fugato that we can afford to replace. We can afford to replace
so
the line.
You're talking an actual librettic change to the Fugato.
Yes, I am.
All right.
So I have to go open the file.
Would this be easier with the score or the libretto? That is the question.
Both. Use your both screens. Is what I'm doing. I have both open.
A slight weakness of the way that Frescobaldi lets me read stuff is... Well, actually, I don't need Frescobaldi for this because you're probably going to make the changes anyway. I can just open the PDF directly.
Yes, you can open in the PDF.
In which case, I will just stick a tab of Chrome up here. God, this is an awful TV. Jesus Christ.
Are you using an old CRT for this?
No, it's an LCD TV, but it's only 720p, and it has seen actual weather.
Oh, weather. Okay, literal weather.
It has been outside
for
a while before I rescued it.
Let's say it's funny.
Let's see. So that can't be. It also has a slightly annoying crop factor. I lose about 3% of each margin on the screen.
That's fun.
It's not designed as a monitor. It's good enough for teaching a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old to fly a plane. It's not the best for much else.
To fly a plane? What do you mean?
I set them down with my joysticks and.
Here
you go. Don't,
you play your.
Don't crash.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So. We have Mr. Mamos has already fled, blah, 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 this, vice.
Is the vocal score engraved? Because that might be easiest to use. As in, is it sane?
The libretto.
I'm going to use the vocal some version of the score.
Wait, no, you use the... I don't know if the vocal score is sane at all. I think you should use the score.
Let's find out.
But wait...
Let's find out.
Wait, don't you have... your PDF of the libretto should be up to date at least with this. I can still send you another PDF.
Oh, I have to regenerate it every time, because what I'll do, I'll just open it in Trellbit, because I can just read the FDX directly. Which is probably easier.
Oh, you can read it, but you can't edit.
Indeed, but that's fine.
You can write.
You
can't edit.
As long as I can read.
Edit.
And yeah, this will do. Yeah, there's a few spacing issues, but it's perfectly readable. The vocal score, and it's more concise than reading the whole score, which is the point.
Yes. So let's focus on Muto because he's the one who would have to be worried about these things. He's basically
Muto is the baritone.
Just look at the FDX. It's a bass, not a baritone.
It's not. Oh, it's actually. Oh no! It's not actually labeled in the vocal score. Interesting.
Well, let's say F
all the
clef.
solo staves have no labeling.
It's the bass clef.
Yes, F clef. There we are. That's easiest. I was looking at the actual baritone choir staff.
So you have in the pin post in Discord if you want, or in the issue, as the mayor's incompetence settling the argument continues, Muto's complaints on Version's inefficiency become because your noses are turned up to the skies leads to criticism of the town guards, letting people like Saikon rob the mayor's son. They don't know that detail, but they allude to crime in general. This would help frame the robbery scene in a more in a clear light, because the idea is that because the opera disperses so much, I don't want the situations that happen in the opera to go without a sort of pre-mention, because we're going all over the place. It's a cafe in Wonderland kind of scenario.
Yes.
So the idea is that it would actually be cool to reference the current state of the town in terms of the guards' inefficiency, why Saikon would risk robbing someone, even on the Vice and
because
its types.
it's opportune.
Yeah, it's opportune. So the point is, Muto would complain that the Vice and the guard is getting lax.
Should he comment on this? Should he comment? Oh, no, he wouldn't, no. Because from his perspective, it's not that the guards are lax, it's that he's a superlative thief, which he already says.
Saikon, you mean? I thought you meant Muto.
Yes.
No, Saikon doesn't care. Saikon is just here to Saikon is just here to steal, and Saikon is delusional. Saikon is delusional. Saikon thinks he's the greatest thief in the world. He's a fucking coward. He is literally the representation of denial, like from an egotistic point of view. Muto is a denial sort of. Muto's denial is based on the blind faith in tradition, while Saikon's denial is based on his own ego. So what you end up with is in the council room. So Muto's lines, you just had to bring this argument to City Hall. You've got a coward who believes the moon will fall. Groundless nonsense tells of an imaginary fate. Lies that tell you preparation must go on. Blah 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 blah. You're not paid to speculate. Carnival is on. Yeah, the soldiers wish to run rather than go and hide away. With the councilmen obey tradition's final say. It's the tradition we must obey. Sod that damned moon.
Sod that damned moon.
Yes.
Is almost throwaway.
It is, but it fits the line. Sod that damned moon. I think it's a very it's that base thing. Yes, it's more. Everything can be changed depending on what we need, but yes, it's a throwaway line. I have never heard of soldiers leaving town on any grounds. This can also be reworked, although I think he says that. Let me see.
Just musically, moon terminates and then goes into a short melisma.
See. Oh, yes, I believe so. Let me see.
Are those usable syllabically?
Yeah, of course, anything can be. But the thing is, the phrase, however, should have prominence. At least I would prefer it. So that's why I'm not a big fan of this part, because he's a very low register. And Vicen jumps from an E to a top E.
He's not low until moon. He's not low until moon. Though.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is that during moon, I can send you the screenshot. Are you looking at the score?
I'm staring at it.
Okay, so when the new syllables of moon happen, da, 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 da. So you have.
So the mayor's quite high, and Bison is sort of middling to middling.
No, but Bison jumps all the way up to E, so there's no really. He won't be heard clearly at all.
Not at the Melisma, no. Yeah.
No. But still, it's a valuable line. Things can be done. I can change the octave as well because I think he is. This is an A. The tenor is an B flat. Oh, it's a bit of a distant thing, so maybe it's not a good idea to make it jump an octave to get closer to the mayor. Still, it's a good section. For
he's on a G.
Who?
At Moon. At Moon, he's
No, I'm in the Melisma.
There.
A.
Oh, in the Melisma, yeah.
It starts on an A. It would be a good position because he mocks the guards, the soldiers after that. I'm just making sure I read the original. Hang on. What they yell at each other before the Fugato begins. You have them.
This is interesting.
What?
This is interesting. I have never heard of soldiers leaving town on any grounds. Has he never? Is that... Because that's almost a vote of confidence in the guards. What if he actually said the opposite? What if he alleged they were actually useless? Like they're looking for an excuse to leave town.
But they're well.
He's throwing the accusation.
Yes. Well, but here's the here's the thing. The original text, which is what I use literally for what they yell at each other before the Fugato begins. You have it there on the FTX. He says, the soldiers couldn't prevent the panic, but outside the town walls is where the danger is. And then if the soldiers wish to run, then run, Bison. We will stick to tradition. And, he literally says, I've never heard of a defense unit abandoning its town. He does say that in the original.
But he's not then... So he's actually referring to the concept. He's not specifically referring to this town's guard now.
No, of course. That's why I said I have never heard of soldiers, not these soldiers. He's saying I've never heard of he's never heard of such cowardice. Basically, he's calling them cowards. He says literally, "You cowards! You actually believe the moon will fall." So he is saying that they're not worthy of being guards. They're shit. That's my point. They are shitty guards. He is complaining of their inefficiency.
I have company.
Okay. Well then.
0. Yep. Just so you're aware.
Yes. So we'll. I'm gonna end the stream here and we continue later. So, bye bye to our audience, and I'll keep working with Liam.
Bye bye.